Welcome back to our channel. It is a weirdly quiet Tuesday night, and we have to talk about the absolute madness that just went down on General Hospital. Grab a snack and settle in because my brain is going a million miles an hour right now and I need to vent. Okay, so I've been thinking about this Wyndemere break-in scene for literally hours and I just cannot get it out of my head. Like, my brain is completely fried trying to process what Carly just went through. Here's what's bugging me. Wait, actually, no, first I should mention the whole context, because if you don't look at the context, the basement scene doesn't hit as hard. Carly has been running on pure adrenaline and panic ever since Trina called her about Jocelyn going missing. And we know Carly. When Carly's kids are in danger, she basically turns into a human bulldozer. But this time, she's completely out of her depth. I mean, she got that anonymous tip right, but who even sent it? Was it Valentine trying to help from the shadows, or was it... Okay, wait, let me back up. The whole thing with Brennan is what really complicates this, because Brennan caught her with Valentine and he was furious. Like, absolutely wrathful. So Carly's baseline right now is extreme paranoia. Anyway, the point is... Wait, what was the point? Oh, right. The anonymous tip. Someone tipped Carly off that Jocelyn was at Wyndemere, and Carly, being Carly, doesn't wait for the PCPD. She doesn't call Dante, she doesn't try to get a warrant. She just takes matters into her own hands and breaks into Spoon Island's creepiest castle. I think it was episode. I don't even know recently where they established how massive that basement is. So she's down there in the dark, and the cinematography here was actually kind of brilliant. Like, really dark, really shadowy, very classic gothic soap opera vibes. You could practically feel the cold stone and the dampness. And then she sees the blonde hair. Just typing this is giving me anxiety. She sees a young girl, blonde hair, lying completely motionless on the cold stone floor. And in that split second, you can literally see Carly's soul leave her body. The scream she let out. I mean, it was visceral. It was the sound of a mother who thinks she just lost her child. You have to remember Carly's history here. Remember when she lost Morgan. That trauma never goes away. It is always right there under the surface. So when she sees that blonde hair in the dark, her brain immediately goes to the worst case scenario. She thinks history is repeating itself. She thinks she's failed to protect another one of her kids. And she doesn't even have Jason to help her right now. Jason is locked up by the WSB because he's protecting Rocco. So Carly is flying completely solo in this terrifying moment. But then, okay, I know I just said the opposite, but hear me out. The relief she feels when she rushes over and rolls the body over. It's not Jocelyn, it's just some random girl. Wait, not a random girl. A WSB agent. Which opens up a massive can of worms that I am currently spiraling over. Why is there a dead WSB agent in the Wyndemere basement? We know Cassius, who is posing as Nathan West, which I still can't believe is a storyline, but whatever. We know Cassius kidnapped Jocelyn. And we know Jocelyn is a WSB agent, or at least tied up in all that. So Cassius is just out here murdering other WSB agents to cover his tracks. It's weird, like really weird. The whole thing is just weird. Why kill this agent, but keep Jocelyn alive as a hostage? Is he using Jocelyn as leverage? Or maybe he just hasn't gotten around to killing Jocelyn yet because Britt is breathing down his neck. Actually, let's talk about the psychological whiplash Carly experiences in that exact moment. She rolls the body over. It's not her daughter. For like 2 seconds, she feels this overwhelming crashing wave of relief. Thank God it's not Jocelyn. But then the reality sets in. If this is a dead WSB agent, and Cassius is the one who did it, because obviously it's Cassius. Who else would it be? Pascal. Maybe Pascal, but probably Cassius. Anyway, if Cassius did this, then that means the people holding Jocelyn are completely ruthless, cold-blooded killers. They aren't just holding her for ransom. They are executing people to tie up loose ends. So Carly's relief immediately turns into this suffocating horror. Jocelyn is still in the hands of a murderer, and the clock is ticking. And then enter Jack Brennan, literally out of nowhere. Just lurking in the shadows of the Wyndemere basement. I mean, what are the odds? Actually, there are no odds. It's totally calculated. Brennan showing up right at that exact moment is what makes me question everything. Carly immediately jumps to the conclusion that Brennan orchestrated this entire thing. And honestly, I kind of agree with her. Or maybe not. I don't know. Think about it from Carly's perspective. Brennan is furious that she betrayed him with Valentine. He has the WSB connections. He has the resources. He has the motive to want to punish her. What better way to psychologically torture Carly than to feed her an anonymous tip, lure her to a dark basement, make her think she's finding her dead daughter, and then step out of the shadows to watch her break down. It is incredibly twisted. But then again, that doesn't explain why Brennan would kill one of his own WSB agents. Unless, wait, was she one of his agents? The WSB is so fractured right now. Maybe she was a rogue agent. Or maybe Brennan didn't kill her at all. Maybe Brennan is actually there to help. And he just happened to be tracking the same WSB agent that Cassius killed. See, this is where I start second guessing myself constantly. Because Brennan swore to Carly that he had nothing to do with Jocelyn vanishing. And Brennan, for all his faults, usually owns up to his villainy when he's confronted with it. If he wanted to punish Carly, he'd just tell her. He wouldn't play this weird elaborate game with a decoy blonde corpse. Probably doesn't matter, but I noticed the way Brennan looked at the body. He looked genuinely surprised, I think. Or maybe he was faking it. The guy's a master spy, he can fake anything. Okay, wait, let me back up again. If Brennan didn't orchestrate this, then who sent the anonymous tip? Was it Britt? We know Britt just found out that Cassius turned Jocelyn into a Wyndemere hostage. Britt lashed out at him, calling him naive, worrying about what Jen Sidwell and Ross Cullum will do to Jocelyn. Britt owes Jocelyn because of the whole hook killer thing, right? I think it was a while ago. But Britt saved Jocelyn's life then. Maybe Britt is trying to save it again by tipping Carly off. But if Britt tipped Carly off, why send her to the basement where the dead agent is instead of wherever Jocelyn is actually being held? Unless Cassius moved Jocelyn? Yeah, that makes sense. Cassius moved Jocelyn, and the dead agent is just collateral damage left behind in the old location. I'm going down a rabbit hole here, but we have to talk about Cassius's endgame. The guy is posing as Nathan West dating Spencer, acting like a good guy, but he's secretly a monster. He abducted Jocelyn. He killed a WSB agent. He's working with Sidwell. And he's keeping the massive secret that Rocco shot Cullum. Cassius is spinning so many plates right now, and the dead WSB agent proves that he is starting to crack. When people start dropping bodies to cover their tracks, it means they are panicking. And a panicking Cassius is a very dangerous Cassius, especially for Jocelyn. Jocelyn asked him if he was planning on killing her. She knows she's a goner if Cullum finds out she's WSB. And now there's a dead WSB agent on the floor. The writing is literally on the wall for her. And Carly's reaction to Brennan in that basement, it was explosive. You could feel the history there. She's screaming at him, accusing him of playing these sick mind games. She thinks he sent Jocelyn away in retaliation, just like he did with Vaughn. Remember, the Vaughn thing, I think I remember that right. Anyway, the parallel is there in Carly's mind. She thinks Brennan is just repeating his old patterns. She thinks he set this whole macabre scene up just to watch her suffer. But Brennan is standing there, probably looking at this dead agent, realizing that the situation has escalated way beyond his petty jealousy over Valentine. If a WSB agent is dead on Spoon Island, this is an international incident waiting to happen. I mean, not exactly, but kind of. The WSB operates in the shadows, so they might just sweep it under the rug like they always do. But Brennan can't sweep Carly under the rug. Carly is going to tear Port Charles apart until she finds Jocelyn. And if Brennan wants to prove he didn't do this, he's going to have to team up with her, which is a wild dynamic. Carly and Brennan putting their issues aside, teaming up to hunt down Cassius at Wyndemere. It's like an enemies to allies trope speedrun, but with way more emotional baggage. I keep getting sidetracked talking about their relationship, when the real issue is Jocelyn's immediate survival. Let's think about Jocelyn for a second. She's locked up somewhere in Wyndemere. Does she know there's a dead WSB agent in the basement? Does she know this agent, the WSB, isn't that big? Right? Or maybe it is, I don't know. But if Jocelyn knows that Cassius is actively executing people, her psychological state has to be in absolute shambles. Jocelyn is usually so tough, so arrogant sometimes, always thinking she can handle herself. But she is completely out of her depth here. She's trapped in a gothic castle with a guy wearing her dead uncle's face. Well, basically, since Nathan was Britt's brother. It's so messed up. The psychological torture isn't just happening to Carly, it's happening to Jocelyn too. She has to be sitting in that room wondering if she's going to be the next body dragged down to the basement. And where is Lucas in all this? Lucas is living at Wyndemere. He's right there. How is he not noticing that Cassius is dragging WSB agents into the basement and murdering them? Is Wyndemere really that big? I mean, I know it's a castle, but come on. Someone has to hear something. But Lucas is dealing with his own extreme danger because Cassius planted the idea in Sidwell's head that Lucas killed Marco Rios. So Lucas is probably hiding in his room, terrified of Pascal and Sidwell, completely oblivious to the fact that his niece is being held hostage down the hall and there's a dead body in the basement. The irony is just staggering. It's like everyone in that house is fighting their own separate horror movie, and none of them realize they're in the same building. Okay, wait, what was I saying about Brennan? Oh, right, the gaslighting theory. Let's revisit that because I'm not totally ready to let it go. What if Brennan DID, kill the agent? What if he found out this agent was getting too close to Valentine's location or something? No, that doesn't track with the Jocelyn situation. The timeline is too messy. Trina calls Carly. Carly gets the tip. Carly goes to Wyndemere. Brennan would have to be moving at superhuman speed to orchestrate all of this, just to mess with Carly. It makes way more sense that Cassius is the killer and Brennan was just investigating the missing agent. Brennan's presence is a coincidence. Well, a soapy coincidence. They always show up at the exact wrong time to look as guilty as possible. It's a classic trope. But Carly isn't going to see it that way. In her mind, Brennan is the ultimate villain right now. She's standing over a dead girl who looks exactly like her daughter. Her heart is pounding out of her chest. And the man who just threatened to destroy her life steps out of the darkness. Of course she thinks he did it. The trauma of that moment is going to bond them or destroy them completely. And honestly, I don't know which one I want more. I kind of love the toxic chemistry they have, but Carly needs to focus on Jocelyn. Because if she wastes time fighting with Brennan in the basement, Cassius is going to move Jocelyn again, or worse, hand her over to Cullum.